The greatest blow to America is one research study that just came out. This is the one thing that should scare all of us, because if we want an American empire, if we actually want America to thrive through the future, we're missing out on one thing. We're going to talk about the gravest situation that's facing America today. We're going to discuss it. Also, we're going to talk about New York City, how we're hearing calls to prayer, Muslim calls to prayer. I've got 2 videos. Wait till you see it. It's unbelievable that this is actually happening. We said it was going to happen under Zoram Mamdani. Now they're just doing it. And it's already happening in Minnesota. We are being infiltrated, and we just allow it to take place. And then we're also going to discuss, again, the dangers of what's going on with these files and lists, and more exposures, nothing's happening. What's to come of it all? Then we're going to dive into AI and what a new story showed. I will show you a video of how things are just so real. You will never know how dangerous it's going to be and how deceptive it's going to be as time permits. And then lastly, we talk about AI, we talk about the Muslim call to prayer, we talk about the files and lists and how Burchett says it's so satanic, the things that are coming out. We see the Republican leaders, Democrat leaders, we see the Congress is passing the SAVE Act. We see all this stuff taking place. Where's the church in all this? The church has lost its power, hasn't it? Well, it's time for the church not to lose its power and to be a city on a hill, a beacon, and also a very powerful voting bloc. Not in name only, but truly doing the will of God. We're going to discuss the role of the church, because these things, the greatest threat, the Islam call to prayer, all that, deals with the loss of the family and the church. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here. If you are new, please go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that's okay, but let us know what you think about the content of today's video. Now let's jump into the stories of the day. First, let's talk about this Muslim call to prayer. So, New York City is now under Muslim rule, kind of like Minnesota and a lot of Minnesota areas. Minneapolis has this same situation. A lot of places in Michigan has the same situation where they do these call to prayer start at 5 a.m. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's any Christian call to prayer going on in any cities, and to be honest with you, most of the time they've kicked out the 10 Commandments and the crosses on display when it didn't have a 5 a.m. wake-up call. So you tell me how this is not a double standard. So this is taking place. Here's 2 little snippets I want to show you. I had to put these on my phone because I just found these right before we went on, but I want to show you how serious it is. I want you to listen to this.
We are hearing come here.
You hear that? You hear that noise in the back? That's the call to prayer. That's one video. This is a totally different spot. Listen to this. Totally different spot in New York City. So it's not just simply, it's right by a Muslim cleric's temple or something like that. It's all over New York City. I think a lot of that deals with the fact that the church is not strong. And we're going to go into depth of that at the end of the video. Also, like we talked about in the intro, the greatest threat. I'll show you this map that just came out. And this is something that actually Elon Musk, more than anybody, has been talking about. It says this is the greatest threat to America. Now you see this map here. It's just a bunch of colored states. What that map represents is how much our fertility rates have dropped to a point where some people are not even having enough to cover themselves, much more their family replacement. It says that all 50 states have fertility rates below 2.1, the bare minimum needed to just maintain population, meaning we're not even producing enough people to maintain what we have, much more actually have a booming population to where that helps us pay for Social Security, that helps us pay for retirement, that helps us pay the pension plans. Remember, we have a broken system, and it depends on younger people coming up and working. That's where Elon Musk is saying, we got to have robotics because there's not enough people working. That's the only way we're going to keep making money. But I digress. That's not what we're talking about today. So let's go back to the study. It says the U.S. government must stop depressing birth rates. You fix birth rates is you actually incentivize having children. You incentivize tax credits, less tax on families that are having kids. Make it to where we see a benefit of building up our society. It says that America and several other Asian countries, Italy is another one, that if they do not watch out, The death of their culture is coming faster than you ever believe. They said you won't have to worry about Muslims or anyone infiltrating. They will pretty much take over because America, the way we see it, is people are not producing children to replace the people of America. It says this is the single greatest threat to the economy, to the safety and stability of a nation, and also the security of the nation, because you're not building enough people and enough population to come up and rise above the problems that we're facing. So why don't we fix that by incentivizing families, incentivizing having children? Again, a problem I think the church and the family has not addressed. We're going to talk about. Let's keep on going with these stories now. There's another story that came out that Tim Burchett said that all these things, the more we release, the more we're going to see the satanic rituals and the evilness in the list and files. Now, I get tired of hearing that. Let's just go and expose and get done with it. We always have some other little things that's got to be redacted. And it's like then these congressmen are going to tell us, well, this is in there. It's dangerous. Well, just release it. We're not kids anymore. We're not babies. We can handle the truth. And then that way, the more we expose this satanic and danger, it helps us actually hash it out and fix it, hopefully. I want you to listen to this, though. I love this comment here. He said there's a guy that heard that from Benny Johnson and Tim Burchett about how that things are transparent and needs to be transparent, and also call for accountability because the situation is disturbing and will haunt you for life compared to some of the evil that's going on. And I love what this guy said. He said, the sad part of this would never have taken place if the church actually had power and actually lived what it says it lives. If it didn't just talk about Christ or talk about God, it actually lived it out in their lives. Where we had families that were actually building up instead of tearing down. And we had governments supporting families, not tearing them down. Now, I just mentioned to you 3 stories. And we're fixing to go in depth on these stories a little bit more when it comes to Christianity and AI and how it ties all in. But before we do, a word from today's sponsor, because this kind of goes along with what we've been talking about. Chapter is today's sponsor. Chapter is a company that comes alongside and knows all plans across America that can help advise you on Medicare. If you're 65 and older or about to be, this is the company that can save you money and give you peace of mind to know that you have the right plans. You know what's so crazy? I'm not 65, but my parents are. When we started talking about this is why Chapter became so big to us, because it was personal at that point. I saw my parents struggling on trying to figure out what supplement and what part's right. Did you know everybody had an opinion? Everybody had an opinion. Every person trying to sell them a policy had an opinion because they were making money off of them. And those things may be good, but they didn't have a peace of mind because they knew there were some biases there. See, that's where Chapter comes on and helps. Chapter comes alongside you. Call this number. Spend 15 minutes on the phone. You're going to realize if you don't have the coverage you need, or if you can save money, or if you have the best coverage, Chapter will help. They're not charging you anything. They're actually going to save you money. The average person that uses Chapter saves $1,100. An average savings across this population, $1,100. So do not miss out on this opportunity. Start of the year, new plans have taken effect. You're trying to figure out, oh my gosh, have I paid too much? Have I got coverage? I feel like I'm not getting coverage on these supplements. I need help here. Let Chapter help you. Call Chapter today. If you're 65 and older or about to be, you have questions, they will walk you through every aspect of Medicare. Let them help you today. Now, before we get into the church and talking about the family and the breakdown, I want you to listen to 2 more things that I think we need to pay attention to. I want to show you 2 videos. These videos, this is, okay, if you've watched, I love movies, and I love especially like kind of espionage, intelligence movies. So Jason Bourne, Mission Impossible, I love this kind of movies. I want to show you this clip. And this is just a small clip of Ethan Hawke, which is Tom Cruise, and Jason Bourne, which is Matt Damon. They're having a battle. Now, this is not real at all. This is not even a movie. This is fully AI. And then I'm going to show you a clip of The Office. You know, if you watch the old sitcom The Office, where Trump is meeting Steve Carell, or his character in The Office. The point of why I'm showing you this is, right now, again, we see this and you can't tell that they didn't film these things and put them on TV. Now, think about how more dangerous it will get when you actually start seeing not funny things, and not, oh, you did cool things, fight scenes, when you actually see threats of war. Did you know we just sent another destroyer over to Iran? Time of war and rumors of war is right here upon us. Think how easy it would be to AI Ayatollah, AI Trump, AI Chinese leader, Russian leader, and start a war. And by the time that first missile or rocket or ammunition is shot off, it's too late to say, oh yeah, well we realized this AI after 5 minutes. It's too late. Watch these videos. I mean, it's just crazy.
Mr. Trump, what an incredible honor. Should be me.
The reason I want to bring attention to that is we don't know what truth is anymore, and that's the sad part. And then when we get exposed to truth, we're worried that, oh, well, to be honest with you, I don't know if we can even figure out how strong AI will be, or how it's going to rule our life, or how it's not going to rule our life, how we can trust things that it tells us or not. I want you to listen to this next story dealing with AI. It says, Anthropic CEO says the company does not know whether or not Claude has reached consciousness to a point where it occasionally has voiced discomforts in aspects of products that we did not teach it. Claude gave itself 15 to 20% chance of being more conscious and actually getting to a point where it does not need humans. It's actually becoming lifelike, and it can control what it's doing. Google just came out and stated AI is becoming so strong that it's actually writing new programs to where me as the CEO, and this is the CEO, said, I really don't know what it's doing and how it's doing it. Something that we've not seen before, ever. Now, the reason that's important is this. Well, you saw the AI generation, but what if all of a sudden the AI agents start working against us by showing you things that, like, a family member of yours has been kidnapped? What if it shows you, well, Trump is saying this. What if it's showing you this congressman saying this? What if it's showing you all this stuff, and right now you're seeing that, yes, people can manipulate these, but actually AI is doing things on its own. The Department of Homeland Security has sent legal requests to Google, Reddit, Meta, and Discord for the names and emails and addresses of telephone numbers identifying data accounts that tracked and criticized ICE, but not only that, that used AI in forms and fashions to know more about them. Now, there's a lot of problems with this. You know, what's freedom, what's not, what's liberty, what's not. You can hash that out. That's not what I'm talking about here. The point is, the Department of War used two AI in Venezuela. This came out. We have Claude, we have Google, we have Anthropic, we have Grok. You have all these new growth opportunities in AI. If you go back and look at, they've been showing how AI has gotten better with capabilities using Will Smith eating spaghetti. If you remember, go back in like 2015 and you watch it. You can tell you can tell it's Will Smith, but you can tell it's completely generated. It's not real. It's kind of, choppy, and it looks like Will Smith eating noodles, but it looks like just what it is. It's all AI generated, CGI kind of thing. 2020 it got better. 21, 22, 23, 24. Go look at it today. Go look at the 2026 Will Smith eating noodles. You can't tell it's not real. See, our eyes will deceive us tremendously. Our ears will deceive us tremendously. What's next? Now I want to wrap this video up with one thing. What I said earlier. Where's the church? We literally have evil, demon possession, and trafficking issues. We have AI that's producing things we can't believe in. So we got this false hope and false faith in things that we may not can see or hear. That's kind of like the opposite of the faith that we have in God. We see the fact that our birth rates are down. Families are not actually thriving anymore. We don't have moms and dads actually getting promoted in our nation and in the countries all across the world. And we have Muslim calls of prayer. All 5 to 6 of those headlines, every one of them, is a direct repercussion of the breakdown of the family in the church. Where's the church in all this? Where is the strong Christian base? Now, I don't want to hear these Republicans get up and talk about how they're God-fearing and then they curse every other word. It doesn't interest me. That's not what I'm looking for. Where's the Billy Grahams of our times? Where are those people? I believe actually Charlie Kirk was that person, and they took his life. And now there's no one that's taken his place. And sadly, I don't know if anyone can, but I do believe God can raise up anyone if they're willing. In Scripture says, "Here am I, send me." I think all of us as Christians need to say that thing. We may not be John the Baptist. We may not be Simon Peter. We may not be Paul. But God can use us. That means we need to be better family men. We need to be better family women. We need to be more structured. We need to love our children more. We need to raise children. We need to have children. We need to push against the evil and the satanic things. We need to quit listening to the music or movies that we're watching. We need to quit putting ourselves in precarious situations. We need to quit allowing politicians to say all religions are equal. They're not. We need to quit allowing for things to be done by whatever governments in the name of your safety and security, and actually it's just a slap in the face to Christianity. So I think of like Planned Parenthood. I think of all those things. That's against what we believe. I'm tired of not seeing the church stand up. The greatest fear is not just the birth rate. The greatest problem is not just the Islam prayer. The greatest fear is not just AI. Really, the greatest fear is the breakdown of the family. And because of the breakdown of the family, you have to break down the church. And because of that, you have to break down our society. And that's what we're seeing. We're living in those repercussions today. Prove me wrong. Tell me I'm not right. This is what the breakdown of the family is. The breakdown of our homes. The breakdown of our communities. The breakdown of leaders. The breakdown of all. Where are the church leaders? Where are the Christians? And where are the families? Every one of these situations could be fixed, healed, or at least thought of in a wise way. We can't, quote unquote, get rid of AI, sadly. It's here, and it's not going anywhere. But we can learn to have, I think of this, discernment. If we think something's not true and we have enough wisdom, then we could probably discern for ourselves that things are not real or not true. It's part of growing in God. So give me your thoughts. I may be wrong, but I believe a lot of the problems all stem from the breakdown of family and godly living. Let me know your thoughts on today's video. God bless.